Hey everyone, welcome to our first ever NodeReal podcast. I'm Walter, your host, and I'm with Jimmy, the developer advocate. Jimmy is essentially a translator of everything developer into everything human, everything normal human into everything developer. Whatever it is, he always makes it exciting. He's a lovely guy to talk to on a podcast, and he's our first ever guest. Jimmy, please take it away. Jimmy, if you wouldn't mind, please just introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us what you do. And also, if you could tell us a little bit about NodeReal in simple terms, so, people like me can understand.
Sure. Actually, my name is Jimmy. I'm working for NodeReal. My responsibility is to communicate with the Web3 development community to understand how the developers are doing their job every day. At the same time, I will also translate the requirements from the developer community to the NodeReal teams. The technical teams, to make sure we are doing the right things to help and to contribute the development community to increase the productivity of developers and improve the developer experiences in the Web3 world. Yeah.
For sure. So yeah, it sounds like you're bridging the gap, right?
Yeah.
You're sort of you're translating almost between what normal people, the language the rest of us speak, and this weird language that our incredible development team speaks. Can you tell me a little bit about NodeReal? What's so special about NodeReal? What are we working on behind the scenes technically? And what's coming in the future?
Yeah, sure. No problem. NodeReal is a company. We are a company to build we call it one-stop infrastructure for the Web3 development. So every developers, you have to using a infrastructure to connect it to the blockchain world. So we are providing the infrastructure to the developer community, as well as we are also provide the blockchain as service. So that means if you want to run your own blockchain, you can also come to us to help you to build up your private blockchain. At the same time, we also provide, the APIs, enhanced APIs, rope APIs, etc., to help you to communicate with the blockchain, so that you can focus on your own business rather than the infrastructure and the tools part.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think you've described it really well. Another way that I had it explained to me is it's a one-stop shop for building your DApp, for example. So rather than perhaps the alternative, Jimmy, what's the alternative to this? The alternative would be hosting your own Ethereum node, would it not?
Yeah, of course you can host your own node, but it's very expensive. And if you want to keep it reliable in the long term, and if you must have very deep knowledge about the blockchain technology. At the same time, it's very difficult to keep it a high performance. So when your business grows, it will be very difficult to manage a large fleet of nodes to help you to get the reliability and high performance.
For sure.
So if our team's job is to make sure we can help you to get the infrastructure part, so that you don't have to worry about the infrastructure. You don't have to worry about your performance and reliability, because our team is actually the expert. They have the very deep knowledge of the blockchain technology, so they can help you to build a node for you.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like to me, if I could explain it in my boring language, is you could build yourself a really good race car. Like me and you, Jimmy, we could get together, and I bet over a couple of years, we could build like an amazing race car that would win some races. But yeah, we could also just go to Mercedes down the street. And Mercedes has these amazing cars that we can buy, and we can get in them and we can drive really fast around a track, of course, where it's safe. And we're going to win races right out of the gate. So to me, it feels like using someone like NodeReal, or allowing NodeReal to work with you on your project, is sort of like going to Mercedes. Mercedes is the expert in cars, right? NodeReal is the expert in infrastructure. Exactly. You don't have to build it yourself anymore. You can focus, when you buy that Mercedes, you can focus on
the driving skills.
Yes, exactly.
And that is your business. That is your part. You should put more efforts in to increase your business.
Brilliant. Yes, I'm happy we're on the same page, Jimmy. Jimmy doesn't normally agree with me, everyone. Jimmy normally disagrees with me, but thankfully today he's on. He's agreeing with me.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, what about the future? So we know what we're doing now. We're providing great infrastructure for people, allowing them to focus on what they're good at, building their business, their DeFi protocol, whatever it may be. What's coming in the future? What's something to look forward to?
Yeah, actually, we are trying to increase our the blockchain support. That means currently we are focused on the BSC and Ethereum. In the future, we'll include more blockchains like Polygon, Avalanche, etc., etc. So that if you are running your business on that part, you can also use our NodeReal service in the future. At the same time, we are also building a data platform and enhanced API. Data platform means that you can get the archive data very quickly through the data indexing platform. At the same time, you can also use our enhanced API to do some advanced features like the so of course you just mentioned we are the car expert with just like Mercedes, but we also want to customize some of your requirements into our platform. Of course, you can build your race car according to your own requirements, but it costs a lot, right? So if you can just tell me what kind of feature you want and what your business is like, we can also help you to build that cool features in the Mercedes cars.
Right.
And of course, in the Web3, I think the collaboration is very important. So we want to make our team more open to the community so that we can collaborate together because the Web3 technology and Web3 ecosystem is very dynamic. So we are exploring in a big ocean. So we want to collaborate together to get to help you to succeed in this fastly changing world.
Absolutely, I agree with you. That's how I felt since I joined your lovely team here at NodeReal. It feels like we're building a community, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I've worked a lot of places I've worked with a lot of great teams in my life, and more so than anywhere else, it feels like we're building a great community. So, Jimmy, you've described some of the things coming in the future. We all know that there's something a little bit more special even coming down the line, which is the merge for the Ethereum community.
Yeah,
and I know we've got a podcast coming later this week.
That's the most important event in the ecosystem this year, probably.
We've got our second podcast ever coming out a little bit later this week. We actually haven't recorded it yet, but that's going to be me and Jimmy and maybe another special guest talking about why the merge is important, not just what NodeReal is doing with the merge, but also all the different details, how it might affect you as a staker, as a user, I don't know,
as a
someone who's just holding.
Don't forget developers.
As a developer.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's why you're here, Jimmy. I always forget the developers. You forget the users. As a team together, we're a great team, right?
Yeah.
So maybe just tease us a little bit. What's so special? Why is everyone going on and on about this merge? And what is NodeReal going to do for its users that's special? Just give us a little teaser, please.
Sure. Actually, I think the merge is probably the most important event in the Web3 development world, because the merge is going to make the Ethereum network more scalable, more efficient, and consume less power. Because it's changing the consensus algorithm from the POW, which is proof of the work, to the POS, which is proof of staking. So that means the basic algorithm, the consensus algorithm, is going to be changed. And especially for the developer, we also need to make our DF work compatible with the Ethereum after the merge. So that means a lot of the test networks will going to be sunset. That means the community is not going to maintain that parts of test networks. So as a NodeReal, we want to make your migration work as smooth as possible. So that means we are going to support the new test net we call Goerli, and at the same time we want to make sure there's no change from the user interface. So the only thing you need to worry about is just to switch the test network and go as you go. You don't have to worry about the details why the merge is going to change.
It seemed super easy to me As someone who, again, I'm never going to claim to be the most technical person. I'm definitely on the non-technical side, but it seemed really easy to me to jump onto NodeReal and to start testing, for example.
Yeah.
I know we're only releasing the Gurley testnet through NodeReal, I believe, on Thursday. Is that right?
Yeah. By plan, we are going to release it very soon on Thursday. So after that, you can just create your DApp on our platform with in the testnet Goerling. Yes.
But it seemed like the easiest thing in the world. You need a GitHub account, and then you open up a NodeReal account that connects the two, and then you press create my DApp, and that's it. You get your WebSocket, you get your HTTPS, and immediately you can start hosting your DApp. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. You don't have to change your API token or your DApp settings at all. The only thing you want to do is just to create a new DApp and start testing. That's it.
That's incredible. Yeah, it's so easy. I was shocked by that. As someone, again, non-technical, but I previously took a Solidity beginner course to try and learn a little bit, to try and be a bit more up to speed.
Great to hear that. You're starting your journey on the Web3.
I did the course, but you got to focus on, you got to be good at something, right? You can't be good at every single thing. So I tried to focus a little bit more on different parts of the business, but I remember I had to use Ganache and Truffle and, what was I using the online one? I can't remember now, but there was a lot of different servers to hook up to and I don't know, different codes to put in, but it just seems so much easier with the way that we've presented it to people here. Is this something special that we've done, or is this a common way for people to hook up throughout the industry?
Actually, we did a lot of work before the merge. Because a lot of the preparation for as a node service provider or infrastructure service provider, we have to be prepared to make sure our node is compatible with the latest POS network. At the same time, we also try to make the make the migration as smooth as possible. So we redesign the internal business logic in our system, and to allow that the new network support can be easily integrated in the existing workflow. So that was a lot of work. So, but for the developers or for the users, they don't have to worry about that. If you run your own node service, you have to worry about that. Just mention, if you build your own race car, you have to understand every parts of the car to make it on a NodeReal, right? So that part work has been done by the NodeReal. So you just start using it. That's it.
Brilliant. Okay, can we talk a little bit about what's important to the team at NodeReal? And I'll give you a little bit of what I've felt so far. So to this point, I've felt like we're really trying as a team at NodeReal to connect with as many great communities as possible, to connect with whether you're building DeFi, GameFi, you name it, add Fi to the end of something, whatever you're working on. It seems like as a company, NodeReal is really keen to reach out a hand and sort of become friends. Like here's a free connection to our mega node. Here's some custom APIs. We'll build you these custom APIs just so you can use our service. How would you describe the community that we're trying to build at NodeReal?
You mean the community, developer community outside of NodeReal, or the community inside of NodeReal?
Yeah, so I would say both, really. I mean, maybe we could talk about the community inside of NodeReal, but also I'm sure the people listening would love to hear about the developer community that we're trying to build.
So there are a couple of things that I can mention here. One is that we try our best to reach out to the open source community, so that we have a lot of collaborators with our partners, because we don't only we don't build the tools or infrastructure by ourselves. So the Web3 is very complex, it's very new, so we want to have some partners together to cultivate the culture as well as to have a better solution for the community. Let's give you an example. We are collaborating with the Galaxy project, the Bridge Seller project. So we want to have a a collaboration with our partner to have a better solution. So when we talk with our customers or we talk with individual developers, the first thing, if their requirements out of our scope, then we introduce our partner to the customer as well to have a union. We call it a union group to work together to get the solution better. Another thing is that we will also contribute to the open source community. So a lot of tutorials and articles, as well as even source code, has been contributed to the open source, and as well as to our partners' source code is the repository as well. So when we have a solution that requires us to make changes to our partners' logic, then we can also contribute that part code to the partner. And at the same time, we also have a very active Discord and Twitter and Reddit channels to reach out to developers to understand what they're really struggling in their business, in their Web3 journey, so that we can provide a hand to them. And at the same time, I think learning is another very important aspect. When you reach out to the developers, to the real users, you will find that a lot of things to be learned. So after learning, we can have a better vision of our product design and our roadmap, so that as well we can also make our product better.
Brilliant. Can you maybe give an example or two of product developments or changes or improvements that have happened because of community feedback?
Yeah, actually, when I can give you an example. When I talked to one of my customer recently, they found that their solution, they have to understand the health status of our services. So we built a API for that purpose for the customer, so that they can use the API to get the latest status of our service, and then they can decide which traffic should be routed to our service. So it increased their reliability much better from the customer's perspective.
That's brilliant. So that customer would be someone who is using two providers, for example, or maybe they have their own node and they also have us available. They make an API call to say, hey, which one of these is performing better? It says NodeReal is performing better. Therefore, they route their transactions to NodeReal, for example.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether they are using multiple providers. Actually, they are using their private node as well. For some special cases, they are using their own private nodes. And because I just mentioned, the private node maintenance is really difficult and complex. In some cases, they have to make sure which route is healthy. They can decide which traffic should be routed.
Okay. Now, there's something else that I wanted to talk about that I have a very limited understanding of. And it's the data part, data indexing, the data storage part. Ben, our COO, for anyone who doesn't know watching, Ben is very excited about this in every meeting in most meetings where I've met with him. Can you tell me, Jimmy, why is Ben so excited about this? Why should everyone else be excited about this? What's so special about this service?
Yeah, data indexing is very important for Web3 community, actually, because the blockchain by its nature is very difficult to query in real time in high performance mode. So data indexing is very essential for the user experiences as well. So Ben also always mentioned that data platform is one of our the strategic goal, and because of this is the most difficult thing, and to my understanding at this moment in the Web3 development community. So we want to provide to the top class data platform to the developer to help them have a solid data platform.
Okay,
actually. It's kind of you can just query the data very quickly.
Right, and so again, I'm not an expert in this subject, but I'm trying to find out because I think a lot of people that are following us are going to be highly technical people, but I bet you there's quite a few people that are not on the technical side or aspiring to be more technical. Let's say it like that. Can you try and give us an example of a Web 2 example of this? When someone looks for this same service, so here, let me give you an example. Like I would say that, like we use the Mercedes example, right? That's like,
yeah.
How can we?
That's a good example.
How can we give a real world example to why the data storage is important?
In the Web 2 world, the data actually is managed in a centralized way. So that means if you are using a non-SQL or SQL database, all the data will be in a single place, right? And you can query in the random mechanism. So anytime you want the data, you can just send a query to the database and get results. It's very quickly and straightforward. But in the Web3, all of the data are decentralized. That means at the same time, as the nature of the blockchain, if you read block by block, it's very time consuming and very, it actually is not almost impossible to have a real time feedback from the blockchain. So if you don't have a data indexing platform, query the data will be the disaster, especially for the front end developers. So if the purpose of the data platform is that we can get the on-chain data to a more easy way for the developers to query. To fulfill their business needs?
Can I try and give an example and tell me if I'm crazy or if this is close? So it sounds to me, for example, if I do a transaction on Ethereum mainnet, it goes to the blockchain, it stays there forever. You can't remove it, right? It's essentially you can't. There's very, very few circumstances where you could, but 99.99% of the chance you cannot remove that from the blockchain. Now that's great because it's there forever and that's lovely. That's one of the things we love about the blockchain. But the world keeps turning and my business is going and I'm sending tons of transactions to the blockchain, right? Now I need to go and query that, a past transaction, some data that I've stored on the blockchain at a later date, right? Essentially, without a quality data indexing, without this data being categorized.
We can call it data platform.
Sorry, thanks, Jimmy. Without a quality data platform, I essentially have to go and look at the entire blockchain and see, hey, where is that data, right?
Exactly.
But what the data platform does is it presents it to you in this beautiful way. So you, rather than having to go look at the entire Ethereum blockchain, you just go, hey, NodeReal, where did I put that? I can't remember. And NodeReal goes, boop, here it is. Is that a good way of describing it?
Yeah, that's the point actually. The data query is very complex because you have to understand the relationship among different data. So indexing actually is help you to query because you can just provide some query filters. We can call it filters or parameters to get the correct data. Just you mentioned, if you don't have the data platform, you have to read the blockchain block by block every time. So it is very time consuming. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
For the business.
It feels like we are the Apple AirTag of blockchain data. That's what we want to be. Because I lose my phone frequently, all the time. It takes me like 20 minutes to find my phone around my house. Is it in the sofa? Have the kids put it in the washing machine? Like, it's going to be somewhere in the house. I'm going to find it eventually. But now I have an Apple AirTag on my phone. I use my wife's phone to find my phone in 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Exactly.
So now we've got the Mercedes, we've got the Apple AirTag. Let's see what else we can move on to. So we know that Ben is really excited about the data. Ben's also been pretty excited about the customization, the enhanced APIs that he called them. He's really excited about the speed. Jimmy, what are you most excited about? I
think there are two things I'm very excited about. One is, of course, the speed is the very important thing, especially for some business like trading or any other queries. The performance is the critical factor we have to worry about. Another thing is that the custom enhanced API should build on top of the real requirements from our community. I just mentioned that we want to collaborate with the community to build a better Web3. Maybe we can call it the future of the internet. Yeah, right. Because the Web3 is the internet to be, right? So the customization, or we can have an abstraction. That means we can have a general product that can cover most of the aspects of the business. At the same time, we want to make sure we are building something that people really love. So that means we can customize some of the features provided by the enhanced API by collaboration. That's the two aspects I'm very excited about.
Okay. For someone who's building a project, who's maybe a bit newer than the experts that we're commonly speaking with, could you give a real world example of how those two things might help them?
Yeah, that's a great question. The first thing is, of course, if we have an enhanced API and the API is very responsive, the response time is really short. So the newcomers will be able to build their applications very responsive on top of our enhanced API. Of course, this is the performance part. And, the business requirements is quite different from customer to customer. There must be something we are missing. We don't have, right? So that the developer can just reach out to us, to have a discussion with us, and we can understand better their business and give the solution to them. So that's part of my job as a team member of the NodeReal.
Cool. And okay, I think those are great answers, but I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, how do they do that? How do they get in touch with you, Jimmy, or with someone else to give their advice, to give their feedback, to ask for this custom API? What's the best way that we can connect with these people?
Of course. We are building a community page in our NodeReal website. So of course you can just log into the NodeReal website and then put on your ideas or questions, of course, on that. At the same time, we have a very active Discord channel and Twitter. You can also, even Telegram, you can also reach out to us, to our team, to ask any questions you have. And of course, if you have some, cool ideas or suggestions to our team, you are very welcome in those channels as well.
For sure. Yeah. If anything, NodeReal is huge on feedback, like massive. Yeah. Within the team, they're big on feedback. Everyone is always asking each other, hey, tell me what I'm doing wrong here. Tell me how I can improve this, which is an incredible culture to be a part of. And that culture doesn't stop inside, right, Jimmy? It goes to the developers that we work with. We want to know any time of day, call us up, text us, message us in Discord and tell us, we think you can improve this. But also, you can also tell us when we're doing well. We also want to know. We also want a pat on the back sometimes, right?
Yeah, that's right. Again, I think the Web3 is still in early stage. We are open. We are embracing any feedbacks or questions, even challenges to us to make us better together. I think that's the philosophy of our team.
That's a great way of saying it, Jimmy. Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way. I feel warm and welcome and not afraid to give feedback. And I think we want everyone to feel that way. Jimmy, I've used a lot of your precious time today. You've been very generous, but maybe before we go, maybe there's something that I didn't ask that you were hoping to talk about. Have I missed anything?
That's a great question. I think we covered almost everything.
We can save something.
One more thing I would like to mention is that we want to make our community more active. So if you have any feedbacks or any questions, I would like to invite. If you are a developer, I would like to invite you to join our open source community in GitHub. You can find the GitHub link in our website, so you can ask for join. You can just pull request, fork any code, and to create a pull request, give our feedback through as a developer. I think it is very helpful as well.
Very cool. And maybe we could also have some developers or developer teams that might even come on the podcast, and they could question yourself, or we could interview them about some of the interesting projects they're working on, find out how they've benefited from the partnership so far, how they think we can improve more into the future. Would that be something that you'd be open to?
Yeah, sure. We also have the Discord AMA. So
cool.
Ask questions or challenge us.
Brilliant. Yeah, for sure.
I really enjoy being challenged.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think that's the company culture for sure, and I can definitely tell that about you, Jimmy. Jimmy, thank you very much for your time today.